Everybody knows that the financial system is about to do a complete flip. You see that the US dollar is unstable. You see inflation eating up at your grocery bills, your electricity bills in the United States of America. You see the currency fluctuations and forex exchanges between even the USD and euro. Euro was trading stronger yesterday, okay? And all of this is coming at quite an interesting time in the world. We see President Donald Trump is adamant about making America great again because he understands America is on a rapid decline and he's trying to save it out of this sweeping decline that is accelerating at an insane force, at an insane rate. But what you don't know is the functionality, the utility, the maneuvers they are putting in behind the scenes to bring about a super hyper surveillance control society. And it is going to be run by none other than the IS 200 2022 crypto coins blockchain. Now, I want to tell you a story. Years ago, I had a client that was interested in real estate blockchain down in North Carolina. Now, he was a real estate investor, but he had the idea of making his real estate, like his houses, his apartments, on sale through a blockchain function system. Now, this was back in 2018, 2019, so he was really early to the game. But what we're about to discuss today brings that to life in a way that you cannot even imagine. If you've been asking yourself questions like, what is the B system going to look like? What are the terminologies I need to watch out for? What do I need to understand about finance to know how to maneuver through these times and escape what's coming? Then this is the video for you. Pull up a seat, get you some coffee. I got my coffee right here, okay? Get some tea, whatever you need, because I'm going to break it down using the Crash Investing course, the Crash Course to Written Investing by my husband, Harold, okay? I have it right here, digital. It's 80 pages. I'm not going to read the entire 80 pages, but I'm going to read the most important section that you need to understand. Now, first, we need to get a couple of definitions for what is happening in the world. I'm on chapter 12 inside of this written crash course to investing in uncertain times. If you want access, leave a comment, access down below, and I will send you the link directly to get the crash course because it's going to save you hundreds and thousands of dollars in investing, and you'll be able to evade systems that you should not be in the first place. But let's talk about Bitcoin to begin because we need to get a historical analysis and then bring it up to date for the IS 222 coins like XRP, XLM, all those folks. Understand Bitcoin was launched in 2009. It was the first ever cryptocurrency. Think of Bitcoin as digital money that can be sent directly from one person to another. There are no banks involved. And then I'm going to go fast here because we also have blockchain, which is technically the technology behind cryptocurrency. And this is where a lot of people get confused because blockchain is a digital record book. Think of a notebook. Every time a transaction happens, it's recorded. Once recorded, it becomes extremely difficult to change. Now, imagine millions of computers around the world keeping copies of that notebook. Somebody say, wow, this seems like a system that is going to be hyper surveilled, okay? That's essentially how blockchain works. Thousands of computers help to verify and scan the records. Now, this is traditional banking versus the blockchain. Because with traditional banking, you and I know Wells Fargo, Chase, Bank of America, all traditional banks, you'd have paper checks. You can go into the bank and grab your money that way in the old ways that some of your elders may do or middle-aged people may do that still. But you send the money, the bank processes it, and they record it, and they keep the money. And sometimes it takes a few days if you want to transfer internationally or between accounts, or sometimes with American banks, you can't even transfer internationally. But with the blockchain, you send the network verifies it, the transaction is recorded, and there is no traditional bank required. You see how this works? Leave a comment down below if you do. But we got to move on to another concept, okay? Called stable coins. This is your government control system because understand, blockchain and crypto are just one functionality. Blockchain and crypto in and of themselves don't represent hyper surveillance control as much as the government produced stable coin does. You see the difference? Crypto and blockchain were created to be off the system, definanced to get you free from the system. If you could hold a cold wallet, if you could move internationally, if you could invest and pull your money out. But then stable coins, though it uses blockchain and uses cryptocurrency, it is government produced. This is your, hey, Japan's coming out with the CBDC. America's coming out with the CBDC. Dubai has the CBDC. Nigeria, Burkina Faso, CBDCs. This is stable coins and what they are. Again, backed, produced by the governments of the countries that they are licensed in. They are designed to maintain a stable value because crypto can fluctuate, okay? If you know Bitcoin, if you know XRP, XLM, these things fluctuate like crazy, which is why you want your investment portfolio to only be exposed like 10%. It's good to have exposure, but you don't want to be super hyper dependent on that. I would never be dependent on one system, as you know, on this channel, but you don't want to be too exposed to it. You want to understand it. I think it's better to have the knowledge of it than to be heavily invested in it. It's always best to have your own independent skills, your own independent talents, your own independent business, and then expose yourself to some of these coins if you are interested in that. But at the very, very least, you have to understand this terminology, okay? For example, still reading from the crash course on economic uncertainty. Again, if you would like to grab it, it's $100 off right now. This is an entire crash course that spans 80 pages, and it comes with a free group coaching call about 4 weeks from now with my husband, Harold. They're all going to be in a group. We're all going to be in a group breaking this down, answering questions, talking about investing and trading, moving gold, moving silver, water ETFs. Yes, we are invested in water ETFs because we understand the world is about to go through an extreme drought as it leads up to 2020, 2030. But let's keep going. One stablecoin may aim to stay equal to $1. The goal is stability. Unlike cryptocurrencies that move dramatically up and down in price, stablecoins attempt to remain steady. This is why it's called a stable coin. Now we're going to get to my favorite part of the ISO 200-2022 coins, which begins with something that's called XRP. Now, this is your heavy hitter. This is one that's going to take out the SWIFT system. This is the one with the full force behind it, but the gates are not quite open yet, and so it's a good time to expose yourself to it. XRP was created to focus on payments and cross-border transfers. Think about sending money from one country to another. Traditional systems sometimes take days. Some supporters believe XRP could help facilitate faster international transactions within literal seconds. This is why XRP often attracts attention from international investors interested in payment systems. This is your ideal thing if you're an international business, a global business like us. If you want to do business in the number one country in Africa to do business in Mauritius, you're going to see these systems start to cater to XRP. In fact, Japan has already catered to it. Japan may be the very first to adopt it in a big type of span where you can see it globally, okay? Next, again, we're still in chapter 12. I'm reading from the Ultimate Crash Course, Investing in Uncertain Times. Understanding XLM, aka Stellar. Stellar, known as XLM, focuses on helping you move money efficiently across borders. Its goal is to make financial services more accessible, especially for people who do not have access to traditional banking. Think fast, affordable, global. This really reminds me of the M-Pesa that you see in Kenya and Tanzania, right? These are literally blockchain functionalities because people pay for stuff with their phone in East Africa. Next, we have Hedera. Hedera. This is interesting because HBAR powers the Hedera network. Instead of using traditional blockchain structure, it uses a different technology called hash graph. Do you see how there's a lot of diversification inside of crypto in and of itself, where you have to study it like you're studying a college course in school, where it's like, hey, course 101, course 102, 103, 104, to fully understand finance. And as a finance copywriter who has worked with banks, who has gotten my clients over 31.9 million to date in revenue and counting, understanding the functionality in finance, how finance is actually a very broad term. It's not a niche term. Finance includes crypto, tax relief, retirement planning, financial services, certified financial planners, debt relief, dealing with debt, banks dealing with debt, credit cards. Finance is such a broad term that you have to understand it. Then, of course, it includes investing and trading as well, commodities, even a historical analysis piece. Understanding this market, the history behind it, and what's going to come in the future is literally going to be your ticket to freedom. You need to get an understanding, or you should get an understanding, because these things are not going to go away anytime soon. Now, if you would like to purchase $100 off until July 17th, I believe that is the date. Your $100 off is already down below in the description, the first 35 people. Unfortunately for you, we already have about 4 to 5 people who have purchased just 24 to 48 hours after announcing it, no pre-marketing included. So you're going to want to grab that down below. It's an entire crash course. You're going to want to take notes. You're going to want to attend the free 60-minute coaching investing session that comes with it as the first 35 people to purchase. And yeah, and all that getting an understanding, because this stuff, it goes deep. You have the golden rules of crypto, again, water ETFs. This is 80 pages. We have 16 chapters in this. And so it's time for you to decide if you want to maneuver outside of the Western banking system, because you can do so while you're still in America. I would not have my money tied up in just one country. As much as I love Africa, love Mauritius, love Tanzania, I wouldn't even have my money tied up in just one African country. I don't want to be dependent on one government or a government at all as much as possible, one pharaoh, so to speak. I want to be diversified. I want to pass this knowledge to my children. And if you would like us to also teach a class for your children and have the next session and next cohort be focused on your children, that we could probably do that as well. Definance for kids. That's what I'm thinking. I'll talk to my husband, Harold, about it. Leave a comment down below. I'll see you in the next video, because the ISO 222 coins, this isn't even the full extent of them. You want to download it so you can see the full IS 222 network, the agriculture ETFs, all of those things. Shalom, shalom. See you in the next video.